flame altered a world and whose promise has never been equaled. No wonder they call him the Savior. I'm wondering if I might not be addressing some readers who have the same question that Ian had. Oh, the cross is nothing new to you. You've seen it. You may have worn it. You've thought about it. You've read about it. Maybe you even prayed to it. But do you know it? Any serious study of the Christian claim is, at its essence, a study of the cross. To accept or reject Christ without a careful examination of Calvary is like deciding on a car without looking at the engine. Being religious without knowing the cross is like owning a Mercedes that has no motor. Pretty package, but where's your power? Will you do me a favor? Get yourself some coffee, get comfortable, and give me an hour of your time. Take a good look at the cross with me. Examine this tour in history. Let's look at the witnesses. Let's listen to the voices. Let's watch the faces. And most of all, let's observe the one they call the Savior. And let's see if we can find the part that matters. There's a song that I heard about a year ago, and the words touched me, I think, like no other song has ever touched me. And it's called, I Have Come by the Way of the Cross. I'm not going to sing it. I don't want to do disjustice to it. But I do want to read these words to you. And then I'm going to make one closing comment. The words say condemned, and I want you to listen to these words. I want you to picture what they are saying, because I want you to understand how important Easter is and how important the cross is. It says, condemned to die on a cross for crimes that he had done. He was guilty, everyone could see. But his destiny was changed when he looked at Christ and said, when your kingdom comes, remember me. In paradise that day he stood, just like the Lord said he would, surrounded by those who had gone on before. And one said, friend, how do you come? What are the deeds that you have done? With tears in his eyes, I can hear him reply, there are no merits to my name, no works that I can claim. He who brought me here told me to say, I have come by the way of the cross. It is nothing I have done. It is the suffering of God's Son. I have come by the way of the cross. 1 Corinthians 1:18 says, for the word of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. Jesus knew for a long time, but I think as he was a few weeks out, I think he knew that he'd be betrayed by Peter. He knew that he would go to the garden and his fellow disciples would fall asleep at his darkest hour. And he understood the beatings that he would take. And as I was doing a paper for my British Lit class, I was taking some literature and comparing it to the Bible. When they beat our Savior, they had this thing, and it would be like a cat of nine tails with leather straps, and at the end, they took lead or pieces of bone. And they were allowed to give 40 lashes. Usually when a man endured 40, he never made it to the cross. The beating would kill him. And Christ knew that he had to go to the cross, but he knew he had to take the beatings. So they exhausted themselves over and over, and they beat our Savior, and they beat him, and they mocked him, and they spit on him, and they treated him like garbage. I can stand up there, I can preach about mustard seeds. I can preach about Jonah and the well. I can preach about fishing. I can preach about creation. The only thing that matters is the cross. Nothing else matters. Doctrinal beliefs don't matter. The different ways that churches worship doesn't matter. The only thing that truly matters is the cross. Do not get caught up in the next few weeks in Easter baskets and Easter bunnies. I think that's what Easter is about. That day of Easter and Good Friday, that weekend, is set aside for us to give honor to a Savior who endured the greatest beating and misjustice in history. Please do not forget that. I was riding down the other road the other day, and I don't know why it's happening to me more and more, but I was halfway to school and I just started crying. My life is wonderful. Things are wonderful. I'm not thinking of Jesus or God at the time I'm not aware of. I'm not thinking of my family. I'm not thinking of anything. And this feeling just overwhelmed me. And all of a sudden I started thinking about people in the world who are suffering. People who are hurting. And I'm not talking about people in other countries dying. I'm talking about people going through life that don't know love. I'm talking about children that go to bed, they don't have a mother and father that grabs them tightly and says, good night, I love you. I'm talking about that. I'm talking about pain that is real. I'm talking about things you think of that just hurt you. We cannot grow so numb to the pain and the suffering of the world that the pain and the suffering of our Savior doesn't matter anymore. Y'all, he endured a lot for us. He endured a lot. And if you really, truly believe that all of that happened to Christ and he was crucified for us, please don't take this church thing for granted. He did all of it for us. And he doesn't ask for much in return. This Easter, remember, there's some good stuff in here, but the cross is what truly, truly matters. The only thing that will get you back to him is that cross. Believe everything else you want. If you don't believe Jesus Christ is the Savior and he died and was resurrected, you're not going to get back to him. We're going to end, I think it's appropriate, Rhett. We're going to sing Old Rugged Cross again. Please, listen to the words. Sing the first and the last. Listen to the words and realize we have a Savior that we need to thank every night.